Today, I'm going to talk about something I've never talked about before, and that's embracing impermanence. I love that concept. So before I can begin, let me tell you that impermanence is the one and only journey to spiritual liberation. Until you understand the concept of impermanence, you're being imprisoned by the very life that you're leading right here and now. The universal law of impermanence states that everything in the material and experiential world is in constant state of flux and change. This includes all aspects of life, including the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the interactive world of relationships. In fact, all of life. Just at the very beginning of me stating this universal law, I've changed. Millions of cells in my body have come, and millions of cells have been replaced by new cells. My mind has had new thoughts in this short span. With every new thought and new cell, I'm a different person. Think about this, that if you were standing in a river, the river is never the same from one moment to the other. It changes because it's constantly flowing. It doesn't matter where in the river you start. So let's say you go back into the Himalayas to the very beginning of the rivers. Guess what? It's the snow melting that turns into the water in the river. And it doesn't start with the snow. It starts with the snow that falls. It starts with the atmosphere. The river is constantly changing. You are constantly changing. Your emotions, your physical body, your mental state, new information, your interactions with people, constantly changing. You see, embracing impermanence is crucial for achieving a deeper understanding of existence and overcoming attachment. When we do, we can be in the present moment, having to let go of the illusion of permanence. You see, you can't be in the moment until you let go of the past. And in truth, the only moment that exists is the now. This moment is different from the next and the prior and the next and the prior. None of these moments are the same. But we've developed this thing where we become attached to a person, a place, an event, an idea, and that attachment holds us back. It does not allow us to be in the now. I'm in my 51st year of marriage, soon to be my 52nd year of marriage. My relationship changes every single day. If I were to hold on to what I wanted my relationship to be or what it was when I was 21, what an illusion I would have bought into. It could never be. And guess what? Because I was under the illusion of permanence, that my wife would be the way she was when she was 20 when we got married, would destroy the marriage. But I realized that my wife, everything about her is impermanent. It's constantly changing. And when I see that, I can embrace that. I'm not attached to my old wife. I am attached to the energy that she brings. And the energy that she brings is an energy that gives me freedom to be me. I love that. And if I can't be with someone who gives me the freedom to be me, I don't want to be with them. But here's the key thing. I've got to first start with me and give myself the freedom to become more than I've ever been before. We've been taught to seek stability in the familiar, clinging to relationships, possessions, and experiences, hoping that they will provide a lasting sense of security. What an illusion. And that illusion creates what? More and more suffering. The greatest thing you can buy into is that life is impermanent, that it's constantly changing, that you are constantly changing, and can you go with the flow? I've been thinking about that and talking about this week, the going with the flow. Everyone says it's a lot easier to paddle downstream. But there was something that bothered me about that because I love going with the flow. But this is what came to me. You can choose the river. That's right, you can choose what river you're in. And guess what? As you're going with the flow of the river, you're always going to be coming to one fork after another. And on that journey, you choose the fork by simply making a new decision and go with the flow. Come to another fork, make a decision, and then go with the flow. What are you making decisions on? Understanding and knowing who you are. What are the top things that are most important to you in your life right now? And then you make decisions that support your expanded experience in those areas. My number one value is to become more aware. So as I go down the river, I'm taking those forks that allow me to become more aware. And sometimes those forks are challenging. The truth is that everything is changing and will always be changing. The question we have to ask ourselves is, are we changing with life, or are we trying to be rigid? Think about when you witness a hurricane. You're seeing the pictures. The only trees that remain standing are the ones that are flexible. The trees that are rigid and don't have a deep foundation, they break in two or they're totally uprooted. The question is, do you understand and are you rooted in spiritual truth that there is one and you are created out of it? And when you are created out of it, you're a part of it, so you are a part of the infinite. And when you understand that and you know what your values are, when winds blow, you're flexible. You're able to pivot, to move in the direction of achieving that dream, that goal, that desire. I know that when I went into do Vipassana, there was a Buddhist term that the Goenka, who was the leader of the meditations, the leader of Vipassana, would say. He would say, Anicca, 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 Anicca. And at first I go, what is he trying to say? But Anicca is a Buddhist term that invites us to recognize and embrace the beauty and inevitability of change. So you hear the word Anicca, you realize that everything is changing. In that moment, with your eyes closed, as you're scanning your body, observing the sensations in your body, you see Anicca, you realize that the sensations are constantly changing. They're not remaining the same. And that no matter when you do that, whenever you go within to discern what are you sensing, it will be different. Anicca is just one of the most beautiful words because it's an invitation to recognize and to embrace the beauty of change, because change allows us to create more. You see, when we embrace impermanence, we can release ourselves from the suffering caused by attachment. It's not that desires are the source of our suffering. That's what a lot of people say. No, it's not desires. It's our attachment to the desires. It's our attachment to not being able to pivot, to be able to move into the change and to go with the flow of the change, but you directing your thoughts, words, actions, and feelings toward what is most important to you. You see, when we appreciate all aspects of life, we minimize the effects of a one-sided life. which can lead to depression through the belief of a completely unrealistic expectation. When I think about all the times that I'm sad, depressed, and we all get there, no one is happy all the time. That's an impossibility. That right there will lead to depression. When I realize that there's always two sides to life, and that life's challenges are to make me more aware so that I can expand more, man, I set myself free. You see, the two best tools to embrace impermanence are meditation and mindfulness, because meditation brings you to a point where you stop the thoughts. You become unattached to the thoughts as they move through your mind. You become unattached to the feelings that move through your body. You just observe and you let go. You observe and you let go. Where mindfulness brings our attention to the present moment, where we can observe the constant flow of experiences and release our attachment to things as we see the insanity of trying to do so. Mindfulness is about taking your shoes off and walking in the grass and feeling the touch of the grass, the temperature of the grass, the sensations of the grass on your feet. Mindfulness is to be able to observe the tonality when someone is speaking to you, their eye contact, their intention. It's be able to observe as you're taking a walk, the birds singing, the squirrels jumping from branches to branches, the leaves fluttering, making sounds. There are trillions of sensations happening in every moment. To be mindful is to become aware that they are. To be mindful is to know that when you are in the river, you're never into the same river. It is always changing, just like your walk through life. Think about a past situation in your life that has changed over time. It could be a pleasant situation, it could be a negative situation, but bring one into your mind right now. How did you react to this change? When you think about the situation that we're talking about, the one you brought to your mind, and it changed your life, how did you react to it? Second, did you resist the change? Chances are you did. You tried to fight back. You tried to maintain. I know for me, when I lost my corporate job in 2004, and I immediately signed up to get a master's degree in consciousness studies and to become a minister, I still resisted the change because I kept looking for the old type of job. I reacted to the change by trying to create the thing over again. And finally, after so many interviews, I was flying back from Reno, Nevada, saying, "What are you doing, Lee Wallach? You're resisting the greatest opportunity of your life to get your master's degree and to become a spiritual teacher." Then I got it. When you were doing that, when you resisted the change, how did you feel? Man, you probably felt like crap, because to resist change is not a good feeling whatsoever. To accept change and to move with it, different feeling. Then, were you able to embrace the change with an open heart? When I finally realized that my decision was to become a minister, to educate myself, to train myself, and to become that spiritual teacher, oh my God, I embraced it. I studied 7 days a week, a minimum of 8 hours a day, doing the work. Not only the textbook work, but the work about working on Lee Wallach. What did Lee Wallach need to heal within him? Because I knew if I didn't heal myself, how could I ever help others heal themselves? You see, when we embrace the transient nature of life, we open ourselves up to the beauty of each moment. By cultivating gratitude for the experiences that come our way. Gratitude for all the experiences that come our way. We understand that each are gifts meant to enrich our journey. Everything that happens to us, when I look back, I needed everything to bring me to this very, very present moment. And this moment is the best I've ever had. I want you to remember this mantra. This too shall pass. When you are in a most blissful moment with your puppy, like I am, I remember the blissful moment will pass. When that puppy's being a little pit bull, biting you, remember, this too shall pass. When someone dies and you're grieving, remember, this too shall pass. When you're having an ecstatic experience of maybe making love, enjoy it. But remember, this too shall pass. Nothing lasts forever. Everything functions under the universal law of impermanence. When you can embrace this law and work with it, you are setting yourself free. Free to be you and to live a more expansive life. Impermanence is your best friend.